Boom. What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today, I'm really excited about this one because I've been wanting to review this one for a while. It was actually kind of an event to try to get my hands on this one, but luckily, big shout outs to Mr. Matt Sinister for helping me out with this. He was able to ship me out a few of these because it's not available in my state, which kind of sucks, but oh well, because today we're looking at one from El Segundo Brewing Company. And if you know me by now, you probably know I'm a big wrestling fan. So today we're going to be finally taking a look at the Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. If you watch wrestling, this is the stuff that he's cracking open in the ring and just pouring them on his face, and it's great. I've been a big fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin since I've been a wrestling fan practically. So being able to see a beer that he collaborated with El Segundo over in El Segundo, California, and come out with like an easy drinking sessionable IPA. I don't think there's going to be really much to it besides a nice kind of mix of, because it's brewed with Citra, Cascade, and Chinook hops. So I'm going to expect some really nice like citrusy flavors along with some really nice pininess from the Chinook, along with the kind of like a nice oily mouthfeel. I feel like there's not really going to be much of a juiciness to this one. It's just going to kind of be a nice oily sessionable IPA, which it should be, coming out to a 6.7% ABV and 67 IBUs. So it's a little bit further up there on the IBU rating, which is not bad at all. So that's what's kind of putting in there to make me feel it's going to be a nice sessionable, oily kind of mouthfeel IPA. But let's crack this guy open and see what this one's all about. So let's see. Oh yeah, definitely getting that nice pine up front. It smells absolutely delicious. Getting like a nice kind of like a little bit of a sweetness in there. Might be from because like with the Citra and the Cascade, I believe. What was it? I just had it. Yeah, because so the Citra and the Cascade are gonna bring nice kind of like mixes of like citrus and, well, like with the Citra kind of bringing a little bit more tropical fruit feel. You're definitely gonna be getting a lot more of that kind of piney flavors in there. So I'm hoping that's what I get out of this, because I feel like this is, for being an IPA and knowing that Stone Cold likes IPAs, let's see what he came up with this one. So let's give this guy a pour. Yeah, pretty clear on the color. Nice kind of golden color to it. Not a little bit of a white pillowy head. Yeah, look at that. I wouldn't say this is a hazy guy, but definitely has some nice color to it. But yeah, it definitely has that kind of lighter complexion a little bit. I wouldn't really call this a hazy at all. Still getting a lot of those nice piney flavors coming up front with that just nice kind of little citrus background a little bit. Yeah, it smells absolutely delicious. So let's give this guy a try. So cheers, everybody. Oh yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really, really nice hoppy like bitterness come up the front with a nice kind of like citrusiness in there as well. You definitely get that kind of pine going through a forest kind of flavor. For being a 6.7 and kind of being like, I don't know if you consider this getting to a mainstream kind of situation, just because it was a collaboration with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's kind of one that WWE promotes when it comes to, obviously, I can see them actually selling this at WWE events, just because it's just a solid like wrestling themed beer. And yeah, booziness isn't really there because it's a 6.7, but that really nice hoppy flavor comes up right in the front with the pininess, slight citrusy notes of it a little bit, but definitely that pininess and that oily mouthfeel is definitely hitting me right in the face, and it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. So let's see what Untapped has to say about this guy. So like I said before, it's a 6.7% ABV. So yeah, I would say it's in that sessionable range, and with 67 IBUs. So definitely has that nice kind of hoppy bitterness to it. So I can definitely see it being a 67 IBU. And with over 37,202 ratings, yeah, that's a lot. This one has an average rating of 3.82 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. So let's see what people have to say about this one. Let's see. Somebody gave this 3.5, another 3.5, 4, saying it's better than he remembers. Another 3.5. Let's see, another 3.5 saying let's go Hawks. Decent IPA. I've had worse tasting ones with celebrity names to add a touch of novelty. So, okay, so I don't think it was just him throwing his name on there. I think Steve Austin had a really good, like really big influence on this one, because you think about it, the brewery's El Segundo is not just going to come up with something and just put his name on it. He wants to be involved with the process of this just because he's that big of a beer drinker. So let's see, we got another 3.5, 3.5, 4.25, 3.75. Let's see. Yeah, pretty damn good ratings on this one. They're a little bit all over the place, but seeing a nice average between like 3.75 and 3.5, going a little bit higher, which isn't bad at all. Availability with this one is interesting because you can go on El Segundo's website, which is down in the description below for you guys. It tells the Broken Skull IPA has its own page to where it tells you what states they're available with their 16-ounce 4-packs. So you get states, almost everywhere in the East Coast you can get your hands on it. You can get going as south as Georgia on the East Coast, and then unfortunately you can't get in North and South Carolina, but you can definitely get in Texas, of course, Montana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin. So it's like most of the states around me can get their hands on this stuff, but Illinois is not on there, which kind of annoys the hell out of me. But also you can get it all over the West Coast. I know you can get it in San Diego, LA, Sacramento, you name it. So Oregon, Arizona. This is even available in Japan. That is freaking awesome. Having this available in Japan, I know, because the Japanese kind of craft beer scene's a little bit different than how it is in the U.S. and the rest of the world. But, yeah, I think they absolutely killed it with this one. So, what also they say out here, so if you're in Taiwan, and of course they're saying a couple more states they're working on getting in there, Taiwan is actually going to be picking up the Broken Skull IPA for distribution, which is really cool. I love seeing craft beer kind of go around, especially American craft beer, and get distributed to other countries and kind of show the rest of the world what we get to experience on a daily basis when it comes to how craft beer is made in the U.S. So it's a really, really cool thing they're doing over there. So let's see. Let's start going through ratings here and figure out where the hell we're going to do with this one, because I already know I'm going to give the can a pretty high rating on this just because it's wrestling themed, and I always thought it's a really cool label, and just kind of one of the things that brought my attention to it was the label. So, the Broken Skull, of course, Steve Austin, you got the El Segundo logo on top, but just they took up so much real estate with putting everything they need to put on there. Of course, they gave you like a little bit of a story when it comes to pretty much what the description is a little bit. And pretty much what they came out and said when they worked with Steve Austin on this, El Segundo created an IPA that's for like an average day working blue collar man and woman. So this is an easy, badass 6.7% IPA to be an easy drinker and absolutely delicious. And they nailed it on the head. It's a fantastic IPA that kind of you can put in the situation of almost getting mainstream. But yeah, it has that nice kind of color to it. Not really, I wouldn't say this is a hazy IPA, but there's definitely a slight kind of murkiness in there. Really can't see through it, so it's not really clear. But yeah, the flavors on this are delicious. Definitely up there with some of the more hoppier IPAs I've had. Which for knowing that Stone Cold likes a nice hoppy IPA, man, I wish he had an address. And like, imagine breweries just sending him beer nonstop. I'm not guaranteed that this is the only IPA that he drinks. He probably drinks beer from everywhere around the country. He's probably stopping at breweries, getting free stuff. When it comes to breweries, sending him stuff all the time. So I'm curious to see if he ever teams up with another brewery to kind of come out with another IPA. So that would be something to see. Because with him being such a big beer fan that he is, he can kind of put himself into the craft beer world and do some pretty cool stuff, I think. Plus, maybe we'll go to some events and all that kind of stuff. Maybe get to meet him. Really, really cool. So let's figure out what we're going to do with ratings. I already said I'm probably going to give this a really high rating for can art just because I like how it looks. Unfortunately, it's not one of those labels that you can peel off if you wanted to save it. It's kind of imprinted on the can. So yeah, easy like 4.75, almost a 5 for me on can art. I'm a really big fan of this. Took up a lot of real estate. Of course, they gave you the description and then showing that the broken skull India Pale Ale, of course, Steve Austin's signature on the side. Really, really cool. Of course, the barbed wire on the top's a nice touch. But yeah, really, really nice label. So let's see. If I got this beer in a flight at El Segundo, would I get another one? Absolutely, to be honest. I really love that they kind of took that idea of wanting to come out with a hoppier IPA and just make it easy and sessionable as well. And just instead of just making a beer, putting somebody's name on it, they actually worked with the person who created this and worked with Steve Austin to kind of come out with such a great beer. And I think they did a fantastic job. So I would definitely get another one in a flight for sure. I'd probably try to find a couple 4-packs just because I know it's not available in my area. I want to get at least a couple to have around the house every once in a while. So this would definitely be one I would pick up for sure. Yeah, if you're just looking for an easy drinker with a nice hoppy bite to it, I don't know if this would be a beer that I would give to somebody who's trying to get introduced into IPAs, just because that more of a upfront hoppy bite is going to kind of be put people off about it. Definitely not for beginners when it comes to IPAs. But if you're an IPA fan, I feel like you should be a fan of this one, to be honest. Really, really nice. So, let's see. What are we going to give this one for a final rating? Like I said, it's good. Of course, I really love seeing all the what's in chat going on for Mr. Matt Sinister and Dixon Cider Boys. This is kind of awesome to see. I love it. Absolutely love it. I don't even care if it's getting spammed. It's when you're talking about a beer that has Steve Austin involved in it. If the chat isn't taken up by what's or all hell yeah kind of situations, then you're doing it wrong. Let's see. I think I'm going to give this one a solid... I'll give this a solid 8 out of 10. I really do enjoy it. I definitely like to try some other stuff from El Segundo and see what their other stuff is all about. Kind of see how they do with stuff on their own instead of collaborating with somebody. So that would be something really cool that I eventually want to get my hands on. So if you're... just got to check... If you want to go on their website and kind of see if you can get the Broken Skull IPA near you, it's really cool because they have their own page, their own section for it, but then it tells you the distributors within each state that it's available in and where you can find it. So, Kentucky, if you go to your liquor store in San Diego, see if they order from Craft San Diego. They might be able to get their hands on it there. Anybody in Los Angeles, let's see, Sacramento, Arizona, Connecticut, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, like the Boston area, northeastern Massachusetts, southern, you name it. It's available all over the place. If you're in Japan, it's available at Global Craft if you're ever interested. Wisconsin, Beechwood Sales, you name it. It's available all over the place. So it's definitely not one of those ones that you may not be able to get your hands on, because most likely it's going to start becoming more available in different states. You just got to keep an eye out for it. Or you can just keep an eye on the website and be able to get updated on when it becomes available in your area. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So, really, really solid IPA. Really cool to see Stone Cold Steve Austin and being a wrestling fan, also as being a really big craft beer fan. Have him work with the brewery and come out with his own craft beer on his own, which I think is really, really cool. Definitely the kind of collaboration that really tickles my fancy, if you know what I mean. So really, really nice. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So if you like what you see, make sure to hit that like button if you're hanging out right now. It'll help me out a lot. And if you're new to the channel, this is your first time watching, welcome. We do this stuff every single day. And if you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell. We'll let you know whenever I go live doing another review. But other than that, yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my Thursday. And since it's Throwdown Thursday and since we're drinking a Broken Skull IPA, This is like the perfect beer for Throw It on Thursday, I think. So without further ado, I'm gonna say it like I always say it before we do the damn thing. If you're gonna drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And cheers, everybody. See ya.